It's story time.
Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hey girl, I always do that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. And sorry about the lighting too, if it's a little off. It's raining outside today, but I still got work to do, honey. I still have to get these videos out there for y'all, okay? So today I'm going to be doing another story time video with y'all. And I'm not even sure what I really want to call this video yet. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. Okay guys, so this was like my 11th grade year in high school, and this was like the week of us taking like our graduation test. And if you are in high school taking your graduation test right now, or if you've already been through that stage in your life, you already know like this is one of the most stressful weeks of our lives, because this is determining whether we're gonna be able to get up out of here or not. Like, we are literally stressed out at this point. Like, we didn't have any like free time like we normally did. Like, we weren't switching classes that day. We were just in one classroom all day long taking tests. That's it. So everybody's stressed out, everybody's feeling tense, everybody, brain hurting, trying to remember all this stuff that they asking us over all the years that we done been in school. Like, we can remember all that. And it's like we hungry, everybody just need a breather, okay? Just need a breather. So the only time we really got to breathe was when it was time to go home and at lunchtime, unless you had like PE or something like that, or unless you just didn't take your test or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, lunchtime was the time for us to breathe, mingle, catch up. Girl, how you think you doing on your test, girl? Stuff like that. Never on this day did I think in my mind, I'm getting sent home today. I'm about to get in trouble. Like, some stuff is about to go down. Never in my mind did I think that. So I'm thinking everything is all good. Boom, the bell rings, right? We leaving out of lunch, and the other lunch crew is coming in. And y'all know how it is in school. Like, when the lunch shifts are changing out, and plus you got people going to their different classes that aren't taking tests, it's loud. It be loud as hell. It's people making noise. You got people laughing, running, giggling. You know what I'm saying? It's loud. It's normal because everybody's talking at the same time. So tell me why I'm walking down the hallway, me and my girls, who I was in the class with, and we're going back to class, minding our own business. I'm talking and they're talking too, and I'm thinking we're talking at somewhat of a normal voice versus everybody else in the hallway. And I'm on the right side of the hallway. We're walking down, like this way. I'm on the right side, and they're over here. It's kind of like in the middle, but not all the way on the other side. Because, need I remind you, the hallways are packed, like jam-packed. Everybody's really like walking slow because that's how packed it was. How about this lady? I don't know who she was. She was not my teacher. And I've never had her a day in my life. I don't know her. Like, I had just got to this school, as a matter of fact. This was my first year at this high school. So I really didn't know any of the teachers, but I did know the principal, and I knew his wife because his wife was a teacher. I'm walking down the hallway, and this lady just touched me and was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you need to be quiet." I looked at her and said, "Excuse me, don't touch me. And you see all these people out here talking. Don't tell me to be quiet." So I keep on walking, and I guess she didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. I'm walking, and she's like, "Excuse me, young lady, come back here." And then I turned around and said, "No." And so she was like, "Excuse me, young lady, you need to come back here right now, or I'm going to go get the principal, and da-da-da-da." And then I'm like, man, whatever, man. All right, that's it. So I'm still walking. I'm like, let me go get my stuff because I already know I'm about to get in trouble for no reason. Because this lady want to touch me. Number one, lady, don't touch me, okay? Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me. Number two, why are you telling me to be quiet? And the whole hallway is full of people talking. That's what I just could not understand. I just couldn't understand it. I get back to my classroom, right? Packing up my stuff or whatever the case may be, because I just knew she was going to try to get me in trouble. So I could kind of hear her like out in the hallway talking to other teachers, telling them what's going on, mingling and stuff. And at this point, like all of the students that were on that particular hall are in their classroom. So that's how I could kind of hear them because my teacher was still out in the hallway talking to them as well. So finally my teacher come back in. She's like, okay, everybody get settled in. Boom, boom, boom. Before this even could happen though, I see the police officer standing at the door. Need I remind y'all, don't nobody like this police officer. Nobody could not stand her because she was always just trying to get people in trouble for no reason. Like, it's your job to protect us and to serve us, okay? Not harass us and try to get us in trouble just because you ain't got nothing else to do. Really, for me personally, I didn't have no problem with her because she never tried to get me in trouble or anything like that. But the only thing I didn't like about her was her hair. Like, her hair was just so ugly, y'all. Like, she had one of those 70s hairdos. Like, it was long and then it was kind of like short right here. It was so ugly. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm packing up my stuff and I'm like, what is she doing here? And so everybody just looking at me like, dang, Cherise, like, dang, you about to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I don't care. Like, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to defend myself. I don't care who you is or who you are. Let me put it like that. I don't care who you are. I'm standing there and she go like this. And I'm looking at her like, who is she talking to? Because my mama don't do that to me no more, okay? I am in high school. I don't even live with my mama. You definitely not about to do this to me. No, I'm not coming here. I still was sitting there acting like I'm putting my stuff together. All my stuff really together. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just acting like I'm just getting my stuff together or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the principal pop up at the door too. He's like, Miss West, can I see you in my office, please? Grab your stuff and let's go to the office. So I already knew him. Like, me and him had already had like a little situation early on in the year, and we had like a little understanding, just put it like that. So I'm just like, let me just go ahead and get my stuff and go up here to this office, right? So I grab my stuff and I walk out the door. The principal is waiting in the hallway already for me, but the police officer is just still standing right there just looking at me. I guess because I didn't come when she told me to. And now we're in the hallway. We're walking to the principal's office. And while we're walking, I'm on the left side of the hallway. The principal is in the middle. And the police officer is on the other side of... No. Matter of fact, the principal was on the left side of me and the police officer was on the right side of me. And how I remember this is because while we walk into the principal's office, the principal was kind of like asking me here and there, okay, so what's going on? Like, what happened or whatever the case may be. And I was like, well, I'm just walking down the hallway and she just tell me to be quiet when everybody else talking. And then she touched me at that. And so the police officer was like, no, that's not what happened. No, you wasn't even there. I said, so how you gonna tell me? And the principal was like, calm down. We'll just wait till we get in the office to talk about it. So we get in the office. And I walk in, I sit down in front of his desk. He goes and sit at his desk, and I see the police officer coming in too, sitting over there beside him, like on the side though, in a corner. And I'm like, thinking in my mind, like, what is you doing in here? Like, I'm not no criminal. I don't need you in here. I didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to come in here and treat me like I'm a criminal or treat me like I'm a bad child, because I'm not. We in there, and finally, he asked me again, like, okay, what happened? So I'm sitting here trying to tell him the story, and all of a sudden she jumped in and was like, well, the teacher said that this is what happened. And so I'm looking at her. I said, I don't care what she said because she's not in here. I said, he's talking to me. So anyways, and I'm talking back to the principal. So now he's just asking me questions or whatever. And I'm like, nothing happened before that. I said, I don't even know this teacher. Like, she just touched me while I'm walking down the hallway, minding my business, and told me to be quiet. At this point, I'm telling him, and again, here she come, jumping in my conversation with the principal. So at this point, I'm looking and I'm like, who are you talking to, principal? Like, are you talking to me or are you talking to her? I said, because she just keep on answering for me like she was there. At this point, me and her got a little battle going on. You know what I'm saying? Me and the school police officer got a little battle going on. at this point, because every time I try to talk, she try to talk over me and try to say stuff against what I'm saying, just because I guess she know the teacher or the teacher told her whatever. Obviously, the teacher need to be in here instead of you, because right now we have a miscommunication, and right now you need to shut up because you was not there. I can understand if you was there and you was sitting here telling the truth, but you was not there. So I don't care what he said, she said. If she's not in here to tell her story, don't say nothing. And then why are you even speaking when he's not talking to you? So I'm literally telling her this. The principal's not saying nothing, y'all. Like, he on hush mouth. I remind y'all, like I said, me and the principal was kind of cool. He knew I don't do nothing but speak the truth. Like, I just tell it like it is. While I'm telling her, you know what I'm saying, why you been in my conversation, boom, boom, boom. Me and her is like slick arguing at this point. And she looking at him like, are you going to tell her to hush? Are you going to tell her to be quiet? And no, he's not going to tell me to be quiet, because he want me to tell you to be quiet, because he may not even like you, to be honest. He may not even want you in his office right now, to be honest. But you in here because you think you doing something with that badge on. This right here, what the last part I just said, that's what I was thinking in my mind, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to say nothing. Let me just calm down. I'm not going to say nothing about this lady job, her position, no, none of that. And let me just try to continue to sit here and listen to the principal. So he's talking or whatever. And he was just like, well, I know you don't start trouble and all this kind of stuff, but she told me, you know, so he's explaining whatever the lady told him. So I'm sitting there listening, and then she has, I don't know what had happened, but she had said something, and I just went off. It was over. That was it. Ain't nobody talking to you. I said, why are you even in here? I said, I see why people can't stand your ass now. Like, I was literally cussing her out, y'all. Like, literally. Why people cannot stand your ass now. I said, you think you're doing something because you got that badge on, don't you? The little badge and your little uniform, walking around here trying to control everybody. I said, you ain't nothing without that badge. Do y'all know what she did? Do you know what she did? She took her badge off, and she threw it at me. Oh, let me rewind it, okay? Let me rewind it. Yeah, she took her badge off and threw it at me. And it was this close to my nose. I'm talking about that thing went shoo. And need I remind y'all, it got that little sticky thing on the back, you know, so they could put it on their clothes. So it happened so fast. I'm looking at the principal, and he's looking like, oh. And then we both just like, bitch, did you just throw your motherfucking badge at me? I picked it up, and I got up out my chair. I went in her face. Y'all, I'm talking about lit. Excuse me, because I got on my pajama shorts. But I went in there. I'm talking about, y'all, I was lit. I was in her face like this. You gonna throw your motherfucking badge in my face? You gonna throw your badge in my face? I said, you know what? I got something for your motherfucking ass. I said, I'm gonna turn your ass in today. I'm gonna turn you in today. That's it. I'm turning you in today. She just sitting there looking at me. She was like, she just sitting there looking at me. And she was on one of them bar stool type chairs or whatever. So she's sitting up a little high to where we at eye level. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't like in no little bitty chair to where I'm just sitting down talking at her like that. She's sitting like eye level to me. So I'm looking at her. She looking at me. And I'm like, you gonna throw your motherfucking badge in my face? So I took her badge. I said, you know what? That's how I feel about your badge, bitch. I went and sat back down in my chair because the principal was like, sit down, Cherise. I went and sat back down in my chair because, y'all, I swear I was this close to hitting that lady. And if I would have hit the police officer, then it would have went to a whole nother level, because she could have did anything to me at this point, because she could have been like, oh, well, it's self-defense, or, you know what I'm saying, try to use anything against me at this point. And with around this time, everything like police brutality and all that type of stuff wasn't going on like it is today. But I was still thinking in the back of my mind, like, you're not finna tase me, you're not finna shoot me, or none of that. I'm not gonna touch you, but I will turn your motherfucking ass in. So I sat back down in my chair. I said, that ass finna get rolled up. I said, you know what? I said, I need to get up out of here with her. He was like, no. He said, you stay there. And he told her to leave. He said whatever her name was and told her to leave. I don't even remember that whole name. I do not remember her name at all. I'm just sitting there and I was like, did you just see that? I know you just seen that and you didn't even say nothing. He was like, look, Sharice, calm down. He said, I know you do not start any trouble. Calm down. He said, what we're going to do is we're just going to send you home for the rest of the day, let you cool off, and then we will see you back at school tomorrow so you can get done with these graduation tests. And, you know, finish your week out strong, finish the year out strong, boom, boom, boom. So I'm just like, okay, send me home or whatever. Like, it's cool. I don't want to be here anyway. Boom. So I get sent home, y'all. And how about when I get home, I call my daddy. I'm like, Dad, this is what happened at school today. And he like, what the fuck you goddamn mean? They goddamn police threw her goddamn badge at you. What the fuck you goddamn mean? Oh, hell no. What the hell you at? Because we finna go up there to that goddamn police department right goddamn now. That's how he be talking, y'all. He be talking so fast. And I was like, Daddy, I'm at home or whatever. I was like, I don't even know if this that serious. He said, no, it is that goddamn serious because you don't throw no goddamn badge at my goddamn daughter. We are on our way to the police department at this point. And while we're in the car, my daddy was like, okay, so Sharice, tell me the real truth. Tell me what really happened. What did you do to that lady? I said, I ain't do nothing to that lady. I said, I did cuss her out. I said, but only because she was getting in my business. I said, it's rude and it's disrespectful. Just because you have on a badge or a uniform or just because you're older than someone doesn't mean you can disrespect them. I said, the principal wasn't saying that, so I did. So he was like, He said, your little smart ass mouth, I probably would have threw a badge at your ass too. And then I said, what? So now I'm looking at my daddy like, did you just try me like that? He was like, no, I'm just playing. So anyways, we on our way. We finally get to the police department, right? They tell me to go in the back and talk to like the deputy or the sheriff or whatever the case may be. And I guess this is like her boss. So I'm sitting down telling him the whole story, y'all, like the whole story. He was like, you know, were you talking smart to her? Were you, you know, getting an attitude or whatever the case may be? I said, I will tell you this. I didn't have no attitude with her, but I was getting smart with her. I was speaking my mind. I said, but only because I feel like she was in the wrong. And I said, yes, I do accept my responsibility and everything that went down. So he's like, you know what? I appreciate that. I respect you for that. Because that right there, that's one thing y'all need to know. Always own up to whatever it is you done. Own up to your mistakes. Because guess what? Your mistakes can make you into a better person. Never be ashamed of anything you've been through. Never regret it. Because you can live on to tell a story to keep somebody else from going through it. So I was just like, you know what? Yes, I did. I did cuss her out. I did. So if that makes her take off her badge and throw it at me, like, is that okay? Me and him are having like a one-on-one conversation, like real personal, real deep. And he was basically happy that I came in and told him what happened or whatever because he had heard nothing about it. At this point, it's like 7 o'clock in the afternoon. This happened way earlier in the day. Like somebody should have reported this or reported her anyway. So I'm just telling him, you know, thank you or whatever for your understanding. I really appreciate it. Boom, boom, boom. And I guess by me actually admitting to my wrongdoings and taking part in the situation about everything that went down, he believed me because I was honest about the stuff that I did as well. The next day, I get to school and everybody is just like clapping every time I walk by them. And I'm just like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? And it was people that I knew. It wasn't like everybody clapping, but just people that I knew. So like, you the real MVP. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? So my friends come to me. They're like, girl, you know you got the police officer fired, girl. And I said, what? I did. Yes, like that is gone. That is gone. So I was like, yes. For me if you want to. You know, every time I used to walk by that lady classroom, who initially got me in trouble, every time she rolled her eyes at me, every single time. And every time I walked by her, I would just smile. Like, hey, how you doing today? Do you want to get fired too? Because it can happen. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, y'all. So that was my story time. I'm still kind of like thinking in my head what I'm going to call this. But The point that I wanted to make with doing this story time is like, if I had to go back and change anything, I definitely would not have gotten in a police officer's face. I would have definitely changed that, not only because I want to show a different side of myself, but just to show her, like, you can make a fool of yourself by yourself. I'm not going to sit here and jump up out of my seat, get in your face, cuss you out, just so you can make me do something to you, and then you retaliate on me. And then if it ever goes to court or anything like that, I'm in the wrong because I'm the young black girl. You know what I'm saying? It's my word against yours. So at the end of the day, I definitely would have changed that. And what I would have done initially was just let her throw her badge at me, or whatever the case was going to be. And I would have taken her badge and took it to her police deputy, or the person who was over there, over her or whatever. But I was just kind of like, I don't know, really just distraught. And I know that a lot of police brutality is going on these days, and I definitely don't recommend y'all retaliating in any type of form or fashion when they're in the wrong, because not all cops are good cops and not all cops are bad cops. You know, you have good cops and you have bad cops, just like you have bad doctors and you have good doctors. You have good teachers and you have bad teachers. But they're not all the same. So you just have to be smart about whatever situation you're in whenever you come into contact with the law, and be really, really careful and mindful of your future, the people around you, and just think, like, in your mind, like, is this a smart decision right now? Like, should I be doing this, or is there a smarter way for me to go about this? And I definitely think there was a smarter way for me to go about that situation, but I'm still glad she got fired. I'm still glad. But anyways, that was the end of my story time. Thank y'all so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. God bless.